Hello and welcome to Cats Love, and today I am filming my first ever episode of Kitty Cable here with my friends who are cat lovers. So basically today we are going to be introducing all of our cats, telling you a little bit more about Kitty Cable and just some recent news about cats. So let's start things off. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my cats. I have 6 cats currently, and one of them is Gray Kitty. You might have seen her in my videos as I'll like point to her and talk about a cat while she's up on screen. She is very feisty and hates everything that walks on Earth. So if that gives you a simple definition of who she is, she's a narcissist. My cat Burton, he's he's basically a fluffy cloud with a sparkle tail. He's just all love. And I have 2 orange cats. One of them is very chunky and lazy, who is Dexter, and the other one is he's very adventurous. His name is Dandelion. I also have the standard black cat, very lovable, very fluffy. His name is Dusk, and I have a cat named Whiskey, who you probably have most definitely seen in my past videos. Alright, so my friends are Pink Flamingo, weird nickname, but we are going with it, and Kool-Aid, weird nickname, but we're going with it. We're just trying to make things quirky and fun.
And my cats. I currently have 2. I had 3, but let's start out with my first 2, which would be Binks. She's a lovable black cat with a very hateful bad side. And then I have a short-haired calico named Houdini, who is, very lovable, but she's very introverted. And, she's just so sweet as pie. Love her so much. And I love Binks, too. And I used to have a cat that we called Ming Ming. She was a gray striped cat. Kind of striped like a, what is that cat breed? Cats Love, help me out here.
Can you...
Gray?
Russian blue?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, striped gray? I don't really... There could be many cat breeds. I'm guessing Russian blue is what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But, unfortunately, she's no longer with us.
R.I.P.
But, may her soul rest in peace. We love you, Ming Ming.
So,
anyway.
You may have seen Binks in past videos, including the history of black cats, and really any video talking about black cats you have probably heard or seen her. And Houdini, Pink Flamingo has sent me many photos of her, but all of them basically look like a potato, so I can't add them in the video because it just looks like a blob of fluff. So you might see her soon if we can get a good photo and when I talk about calicos again. Alright, so Kool-Aid, do you want to introduce your cats?
Yes, I would. My first cat that I've had for a very long time is Tempe, and she is a Siamese. And I have 2 others, 2 females, a striped cat, I think it's a tabby, and another Siamese. They've had babies, and we have 1 black one, 2 white Siamese, one of them a boy and a girl, and then we have 2 striped ones, a boy and a girl also.
Seems like you have a lot of cats. It's been a running joke in the past videos that you've been in that you have like 30 cats, so it really lives up to its name.
Yes, they do. I've probably had at least like 30 cats in my entire lifetime.
Well, yeah, you've probably seen them in past videos. I've mentioned Binks in several videos that were topics about black cats, and I mentioned Tempe in my Cat Mobile Games video. And basically, this episode, we're wanting to talk about 2 commonly asked questions about cats. One of them is, why do cats like plastic bags, and why do cats sleep with you? Which I have partially answered that second question in separate videos, so I'm just going to sum it up and leave it to past videos to give you the full answer. But from my research, plastic bags for cats is like popping bubble wrap for us. Like the satisfaction that we get from popping bubble wrap is like that, but with cats and plastic bags.
I did a little bit of research on the side too. I have like a whole paragraph about it, but what I have down is, cats love the sound that it makes, and it's full of interesting smells for cats because they, can smell everything that it had once carried, and the crinkly smooth texture appeals to cats with pica. Pica is like an eating disorder that some cats can develop, and just the crinkly smooth texture apparently appeals to them. Cats love. Would you like to take this one?
Yeah, some of the stuff you said is actually in my notes too. So basically, the food that was in the bag if you went grocery shopping previously could trigger the cat in wanting to enter the bag. Plus, the crinkle of the plastic in the surface could also, trigger the cat in wanting to play and attack with the plastic bag. Also, we do want to remind you that there is a suffocation risk in letting your cat play with plastic bags. My cat Whiskey loves to play with bags and used to be seen sleeping inside of bags very commonly, but there was an incident where he almost suffocated in one, and he hasn't really, hung out in a bag since. So there's always that risk of suffocation that you want to watch out for when letting your cat play with plastic bags. So make sure there's holes in the plastic bags at all time, and just make sure to monitor your cat while they're playing.
I actually tried out an experiment. I got a plastic bag and I set it outside and looked out from the window. Some of them, like Tempe, she just went up and sniffed it a lot. And then some of the littler ones, like kittens, they like to jump inside of it and play around in it.
So, if that kind of gives you an answer to why cats like plastic bags, then yeah, that's your answer. Also, recently, Maui, the Hawaiian island, has suffered a lot from wildfires. So, if you're wanting to donate and help the cause, then I would personally recommend the Maui Humane Society and Maui Cat Rescue. It's a thing that's happening that a lot of people and pets are being affected by, and we just want to help out the cause. So if you want to donate to the cause, then I would recommend, like I said, the Maui Humane Society and the Maui Cat Rescue. Anyway, let's talk about our second subject. Why do cats sleep with you? So I've answered this in past videos like cat sleeping positions, and my recent video, Cats Are Seriously Smart, I mentioned it shortly, but yeah, or I mentioned it briefly, but yeah, we all have notes about this, so Pink Flamingo, why don't you go ahead and say your notes?
Well, I have quite a bit down for this one, so I'm going to say just a few and kind of like a PowerPoint, and then I'm going to hand it off to you. But cats, when they sleep on you, they feel a sense of security with you, and they feel like, hey, they're trusting you enough, like they're in a vulnerable state. They like want you to protect them, and they trust you enough to protect them. It also is like a sign of affection for them. Like, I love you, I'm going to sleep on you, I'm going to sleep with you, beside you, because I hope you love me too. And, it's really cute. But the one that kind of hurt me a little bit when I first got my cat and found this out was cats that are new typically just do it for warmth off of you. They kind of use you like you ever put your hand over a flashlight and felt the warmth come off of it. You're the flashlight and the cat is your hand. But I'm going to pass this off to Cat's Love and see what he has written down.
So, my notes say cats sleep with you because they trust you and feel secure, and that they basically feel like they don't need to be protecting themselves while they're sleeping, and they can sleep with their belly out, they can sleep any way they want because they are relying on you to protect them while they sleep. And cats just want to feel secure while sleeping. And Pink Flamingo is right about the warmth thing. I'm actually going to mention it in my future, or in this week's Cat Breed profile, the week that this Kitty Cable is released. I'm going to be talking about the Bombay, and I briefly mentioned how these cats love warmth and will cuddle with you to, feel secure and to be warm. So that's really crazy that you predicted a line out of my video a week before then.
I'm just magical.
You're so magical.
Like that, Yeah. Kool-Aid, what do you have written down about the subject?
I've written down that I did an experiment where I put my kitten with me and I laid down. And then after like 5 minutes, she climbed up and she just simply laid down with her, because I feel like most of the kittens, they feel kind of like scared or something. They want to get up next to you and kind of rub it off on you, like how they see you as a thing of protection, just like Catslip and Pink Flamingo said.
Yeah, what your kitten basically did is they saw you as a source of protection and safety like they would their moms, so that means the kittens trust you, which is a good sign already. Cats are very fascinating beings, and I'm very, very, very glad that I started a cat channel, because there's so much to know about these animals that scientists don't really look at. It's a fact that most scientists, animal-related scientists, would rather research about dogs than cats, and it's only been recent years that scientists have finally started looking at cats, and so I'm glad I'm able to spread this information and help you spread the knowledge about these very fascinating and fluffy beings, which we all love so much. So right now there's some pretty crazy news going around that has been related to cats. One of these stories is that a cat that has been missing for 10 years has finally returned home. I'm going to briefly talk about it and then upload a Stories from the Litter Box this weekend covering the full story. New York City is having a major cat problem. In fact, cats are basically everywhere in Brooklyn currently, and vets are quitting their jobs, so the vets are decreasing, but the stray and feral cat population are increasing, so it's a battle against stray cats. So basically, we got a lot of cool stories to talk about, but first, I just want to basically say thank you for watching till this point. This 14-minute mark has been honestly crazy. Not crazy, but it's very cool to see how this first episode is going, and I'm very excited to look forward to future videos. Do you guys have anything to say so far about how things are going?
Well, a few cat facts around, just, scattered around my back pocket. I can probably pull some out.
Pulling some cat facts and lint out of your back pocket?
Absolutely. Let me see what the first ball of lint, what should we say, first hairball says?
Oh,
that was a corny cat joke.
That was a good cat joke.
But lucky number 4. All right. The average age for an indoor cat the average life expectancy, get my words straight here, sorry, is about 15 years, while the average age for an outdoor cat to live is sadly only 3 to 5 years. But,
that depends on...
Kool-Aid, do you have any comments?
That depends on living conditions and breed, of course.
That is true. I just, had a quick jot down on about 15 different pieces of paper that are scattered around my pantaloons.
Your pantaloons. You're emptying the compartments of your pantaloons right now and sharing us all your lint facts.
And I would like to say something, that there is like a range of smartness in a cat, like how Cats Love did in a video that you guys should definitely watch, and how some cats are like kind of smarter than others. All of them are smart, but some cat breeds have developed a lot more of sense of thinking. And whenever I scan out my Siamese, they kind of seem a little bit down in the smart radar.
It's a smart radar. You know, it depends from experience, and it kind of depends from the mom's experience. So Tempe's mom might have not been so experienced in the outdoor world and was maybe an inside cat or something like that, to where she didn't have a lot of experience in the outside world.
I got her whenever she was like, I don't know, like 5 months old or so.
That's pretty early.
So she was really young whenever we got her.
That's about still formula and stuff. They usually around that age it would be the switch from formula and milk to cat food, like wet cat food. That's pretty cool. You got them so young. It's neat.
You know, I do have a story about one of my cats. Actually, two of my cats. Binks and Ming Ming. Binks and Ming Ming had came from the same building and the same dumpster because a lot of stray cats would hang around this dumpster at, somebody's workplace that we knew. So we decided, we adopted Ming Ming first, and then she sadly passed away. And then we adopted Houdini, and she's still, living her best life, eating cat food, just chilling in window sills, being a cat.
Amazing
And
cat life.
Binks, she came from that dumpster. We had her mom too. Our friend had her mom, really, but the mom ran away. I really hope Binks' mom is out there somewhere living her best life in somebody's new home. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that we rescued two cats from the same dumpster that were possibly related.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty good. I fostered 2 kittens back in June of last year. So some kids went, and like we were living right beside a dirt road where a bunch of kids would drive their 4-wheelers up and down it, and in the middle of the night it would just be engine. It would just be engine. It was hard to sleep because about a little bit away was the interstate and then a dirt road, so we could hear semis and then 4-wheelers going down a road. So it was always sort of noisy. So one time I actually found out that a group of the 4-wheelers were some of my old friends, and so one of my old friends, I thought, was jokingly asking me if I wanted 2 cats, and I usually get asked that a lot if I wanted their cat, like people's cats, as jokes. So I thought this was another joke, and I said, yeah, sure. And I didn't think they actually had cats because they were just riding through my area on 4-wheelers, so I didn't think they actually had a cat with them. But turns out they found 2 abandoned kittens by the interstate and was going to bring them by. I didn't actually know that they were going to bring them by, but they did. So one moment I hear the 4-wheelers, I go outside to see what's happening because they were sitting in front of my front yard, and then I realized as they drove away that they actually dropped cats off at my house. I didn't think they would actually do it because, a lot of people have joked about it before, but they actually did it. So I quickly needed to figure out what I was going to do since these cats were too young to eat cat food and they still needed milk and formula. So I needed to figure out somebody to foster them until they're old enough to eat dry food. So it was very chaotic, but at the same time very nice to get to foster cats for about 2 days. They're just tiny little tabby kittens. They're very cute, but I ended up finding a really good home for them, and they're actually thriving very well to this day. They're at a good home. They have cat friends that they play with. They're very playful, from what I've heard, and yeah, I'm glad I was able to give them a good home.
Well, whenever we bought Tempe, we got a male cat who was named Sealy.
Sealy?
Yeah. He was an indoor cat. He would sit around this, T intersection in my house, and he would just lay there and scratch at anybody's feet who would go by. I was kind of young. I was maybe like 10 or so, and he scratched me, and I cried about it, and then I would say some stuff about him, like bad boy or whatever.
Bad cat.
And he always had a face on him, a face of just disgust whenever you look at him.
Stink eye.
Yeah, he would definitely give you the bombastic side eye. Then we moved him outside, and he was really playful all the time. He always made us laugh. And then one day we sadly found out that he was not there anymore, and then it turned from a week to a month, and now I think maybe half a year or so that he's been missing, and we've been trying to look for him whenever we drive around, but we have no signs of him. He's probably still alive out somewhere, maybe found another home so that he can still be playful and funny.
Wow.
I do miss him, but hey, some cats just have to go.
Yeah, we always have them childhood pets that go missing and usually never come back, but this recent news story has officially debunked that thought. A lady named Carol Holmes, who lives in Wichita, Kansas, basically her cat Bob went missing 10 years ago, and recently she found out that Bob was still alive and found a new home. Guess where Bob had found a new home at?
Our next door neighbor.
That's a good guess, but Bob was actually across the country in North Carolina. So Bob had somehow made it from Wichita, Kansas, all the way to North Carolina with probably many owners along the way. So he probably went house from house living there and eating, and then he would run away and go to the next house, and all the way until he was in North Carolina. So Bob the cat took a trip to North Carolina. It was a journey. So I wonder how Bob got there. I'm wondering if he walked or if, like what I said, families, he just ran to different homes. So maybe he went from Wichita to the next city, and then the family moved to North Carolina and brought Bob with them. Or they could have moved to Tennessee, and he could have just skipped houses until he ended up in North Carolina, because the city he was at in North Carolina was close to Raleigh, which is central North Carolina. So he made it pretty far in 10 years, which pretty cool, and I'm actually excited to make these story from the Litterbox video, because in a recent video I had talked about how a theory suggests that cats can they can basically know where Earth's magnetic stuff is, so that way they can make their way back home from long distances. And I was wondering if this Bob the cat story proved that theory true or not.
You know, that story honestly touches my heart. If one of my cats had ran away for that long, I think I might have lost hope. I really don't know. And the fact that she, for 10 years didn't stop, okay, my cat, that's just heartwarming to me.
Wow.
And, that story really made me feel good.
when I first read it, it also made me feel good because I lost my Bengal cat Charlie about 3 or 4 years ago, and that actually gives me hope that he might come back. But it was we all have childhood pets that end up running away, and it's we always gotta accept that they're gone and that they might have found a new home and that they're living a good life. So it's pretty cool and very soothing to know that cats will live long if they're in good condition, and if you're lucky you might find them after a while. And so Carol, especially after 10 years, got really good luck finding her cat.
Cat's nose print, like the wrinkles in it, are so unique that no other cat has it. It's like a fingerprint for a human. It's kind of like their, toe beans. Or not their toe beans, their tongue. I'm sorry. Their tongue is also unique to them.
Toe beans are also
It's very
unique to
interesting.
cats too. You weren't
the
wrong
toe
on
beans.
that.
I was right on that one.
Yeah, you were.
So cats, they could be identified by their nose, their tongue, their toe beans. But, collar with phone number, that seems to be the best option.
Well, I mean, it was 10 years, so just imagine how much technology and everything like that has evolutionized in just 10 years. And maybe in about 10 years, we will get the technology to scan cats' nose prints and figure out their whole origin story and all that. I feel like with how futuristic technology is getting, I feel like we probably won't even need to put collars on our pets anymore to distinguish who they are, and putting phone numbers on the collar. We probably won't need to do that anymore. We can just, all cats have their own unique nose, tongue, and toe beans, so there should be some technology that's invented so that way we can identify the cat by their toe beans and stuff like that, kind of like how we are identified by our fingerprints and our photos and stuff like that.
I need to add on to that. My aunt's dog has a collar that says I'm chipped, which means there's a thing that can detect where they are. Like you can get an app or something on your phone, and you can see where they are by their collar.
My cat Whiskey is microchipped, but it's not the collar that's microchipped. It's him. If he managed to take his collar off, the microchip won't go nowhere. Yeah, when we got him neutered while he was sedated, we had the option to get him chipped, so that way he was already on anesthesia, he wasn't going to feel it. So we ended up doing that just for an extra $50 or so added onto the bill, which honestly wasn't bad for a microchip. But there is another crazy story, and it's actually happening right now, and it's New York City, mainly Brooklyn, is basically getting overrun with cats. Vets.
All right, I'm moving to Brooklyn, New York City.
Yeah. Vets are basically, there's less vets than there are cats, if that tells you anything. But vets have been quitting their jobs lately, and the feral and stray cat population have been rising insanely. Brooklyn is now Cat City because they all go there for the mice. So,
sounds like some New Yorkers need to get their cats under control.
That and their rats, because I think they gathered there because of the rats. So, yeah, so there's basically colonies of cats in Brooklyn now, which, it's crazy. The thing in New York, you think about the skyscrapers and all the cool stuff there, like pizza, and not cats. But it's hard to care for all of the cats, and the cat cafes in New York City are basically getting overrun. And New York City basically needs help caring for their cats. So if you live in New York City, specifically Brooklyn, then if you want to help the cause by adopting or giving some cats to some friends or something like that, that would help out the cause a lot. But yeah, well, let's go ahead and wrap the first ever episode of Kitty Cable up. This has been very fun, and we've made it, I think, about 30 minutes, which honestly I was expecting it to be way shorter for our first episode. I think we did pretty good for this. Is there anything y'all want to say? Finish it off.
Yep.
Probably
Can I do
Probably
the outro?
to check out his channel.
Oh yeah, I usually don't say this in my videos, and that's because I feel like it's very cringy for YouTubers to say this in their videos. But if you want to subscribe, it would help a lot. It would show the algorithm that my content matters compares to other people's. So yeah, if you want my cat educational videos to get pushed out into the algorithm, go ahead and like and share this video with the ones who you think will like this sort of content. Thanks for watching. The next Kitty Cable will probably be out in either the end of this month or at the start of October. It honestly depends whenever they want to do it and all that. So it won't be weekly. It won't be scheduled or anything like that. We'll just come out with a Kitty Cable whenever we're doing it. So whenever we have the time to do it. So
It's just, complicated, all of our schedule.
School, sports. I'm already busy with Cats Love as a whole. So yeah, it's pretty cool recording first ever episode of Kitty Cable. Make sure to stay tuned for the cat breed profile and the 2 stories from the litter box episodes after this. I hope you enjoyed the first ever episode of Kitty Cable. If you have anything to recommend to us to talk about or any suggestions to help make Kitty Cables better, I know Pink Flamingo's mic quality probably isn't good, and that's because I'm on a Chromebook, and I'm trying to make Cats Love as low budget, but at the same time as good as possible. I'm still a kid, so there's much to learn on how to do podcasts and stuff like this. But yeah, stay tuned for the next Kitty Cable sometime maybe at the end of the month or at the start of October. And yeah, I hope you enjoy.
This is Pink Flamingo, signing off.
This is Kool-Aid, signing off.
Yeah, they really wanted to do the outro. Anyway, this has been Cats Love. See you next episode.